Valar Morghulis. Welcome back, friends of the realm. Today we dare to ask, what if Robert Baratheon found out about Cersei's incest? The iron hammer falls. Torches burn bright against the night skies of King's Landing. The Red Keep reverberates with an unholy clamor. Servants cower, goldcloaks stand at uneasy attention, and courtiers whisper in dread. King Robert Baratheon has uncovered the unthinkable. Queen Cersei has been bedding her twin brother, Jaime Lannister, for years, and all the supposed Baratheon heirs are bastards born of incest. In the royal chambers, the floor is smeared with blood. Cersei Lannister, brazen to the last, hisses her contempt.
You drunken fool. You were never my king, never worthy of my bed.
Robert's face twists with grief and fury. He grips his legendary warhammer, the very weapon that once toppled the Targaryens. A single devastating blow silences her forever.
By the gods, you have stained my house with your lies.
Cersei's lifeless form crumples. The false queen is dead. Word spreads through the corridors like wildfire, each retelling more brutal than the last. Elsewhere in the keep, Joffrey, cruel from boyhood, the golden-haired reflection of Jaime, faces his father's justice. Robert, maddened, condemns him to death. The air smells of fear and fresh blood as the headsman swings. Joffrey Baratheon, once heir to the Iron Throne, is gone.
Tom and Myrcella, you are no children of mine. You bear the Lannister taint. I spare you, but you will never claim my name or my throne.
Small, frightened, Myrcella and Tommen are led away under guard. The king's men line the battlements with the severed heads of Cersei's co-conspirators. Gruesome, yes, but Robert sees no other path than merciless warning. Across King's Landing, uneasy hush reigns, a realm on edge. In the west, Tywin Lannister learns the horrifying news. Cersei is executed, Joffrey gone, Tommen and Myrcella imprisoned. An entire generation of Lannisters stands disgraced. The old lion's rage is said to scorch the halls of Casterly Rock.
My daughter butchered. My grandchildren declared abominations. Sound the horns. Summon every house sworn to the rock. Robert Baratheon will answer for this.
He musters a fearsome host. Gold-laden coffers buy fresh sellswords. Bannermen gather under red and gold banners. Lannister might, hammered once by Robert's rebellion, rises again. Meanwhile, King Robert transforms. He has shed the complacent brawler and returned to the fierce warlord once hailed as the Demon of the Trident. Summoning lords from the Stormlands, he calls upon his old friend Eddard Stark to rally the north. He woos House Tully of the Riverlands. Stannis arrives by sea with black and gold banners. Renly rides in with a retinue of shining knights. The fields outside King's Landing bristle with arms, forging a coalition in Robert's name.
I have no love for these court intrigues, Your Grace. Yet I will not abandon the realm to schemers and vultures. My loyalty and duty bind me here. So long as you need me, I remain.
From the south, an unlikely ally appears. Prince Oberyn Martell leads his lean Dornish spears north. Dorne has harbored a seething hatred for the Lannisters since the death of Elia Martell, Oberyn's sister. Though Oberyn mistrusts Robert, he craves vengeance upon Tywin's men, Gregor Clegane in particular. War looms, and many a soldier senses a storm to match Robert's rebellion in scale.
I rid my bed of a traitor and a whore. The Lannisters would avenge this shame. Let them come. They shall face the hammer, or be broken beneath it.
Respect grows grudgingly among houses once cynical of the boorish king. He has ripped traitors from his own bed, and few can question that iron resolve. War on the horizon. Whispers abound that Tywin Lannister marches east. His columns shimmer beneath the sun, red cloaks and golden lions. Rumor puts his forces at 30,000 strong or more. Robert counters by marching from King's Landing with a host of Northmen, Stormlanders, Rivermen, and Dornish. The roads of the Trident region fill with armies maneuvering for advantage. Memories of past battles cling to the muddy fields like a ghostly pall.
Brother, we should strike swiftly. Cut Tywin down before he can fortify.
We must also ensure the Lords of the Reach do not slip from our cause. Mace Tyrell's gold and grain could be crucial.
Let the Tyrells choose their side. I'll not beg them. We will do what must be done, with or without their roses.
In this lethal dance, outriders burn farmland, ambush caravans, and sabotage supply lines. Oberyn Martell leads surprise raids, his Dornish spears vanishing into the hills after each strike. Bloodied Lannister outriders limp home, cursing. The realm braces for the first true clash of arms.
If I could shatter a dynasty of dragons once, I'll do the same to these lions.
The Battle of the Golden Fork. At the Battle of the Golden Fork, Tywin attempts a river crossing under the cover of darkness, hoping to outmaneuver Robert. Yet the king has laid a trap. Pikes and spear walls hidden along the muddy banks. Ranks of Northman archers in the tree line. Stannis arranges disciplined Baratheon foot in tight formation, refusing to yield ground. As dawn breaks, the Lannisters wade across. They are met with savage resistance. Arrows darken the sky, the river shallows churn with blood. Oberyn Martell swings wide, flanking Tywin's rearguard. Robert himself plows into the center, warhammer rising and falling, a reaper of bones.
For the crown!
The day's end sees the Lannisters in disarray. Casualties litter the shores. Tywin's once proud columns pull back, battered. Though the old lion escapes with much of his force intact, the victory goes to Robert's side. Crows feast on the dead beneath a red-stained sunset. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you like this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 90% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, is it done? Great, thank you so much. Schemes in the night. While armies clash upriver, Littlefinger plies cunning strategies within the Red Keep. Varys the Spy Master glides through secret tunnels, gleaning tidbits of loyalty and betrayal. They watch the imprisoned Myrcella and Tommen, now powerless children locked in tower cells. A group of goldcloaks, loyal to the Lannisters, attempts a midnight rescue. Their target: smuggle Myrcella and Tommen out of King's Landing to rally behind the Lannister cause. Ned Stark, suspecting infiltration, doubles the guards.
No child need die tonight, but do not let them be taken. We cannot allow Tywin such leverage.
The rescue fails in a clash of steel at the base of the tower. Torches spit sparks across the courtyard. The goldcloaks are butchered. The children remain in custody. In the aftermath, Myrcella and Tommen are transferred to Danker quarters, guarded by men Ned trusts personally. Rumors swirl that Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer, lurks near the city with a small retinue of hardened knights, vowing to avenge Cersei, free his children, and kill King Robert. But no one can confirm exactly where Jaime hides. The fall of River Run. In a move that stuns Robert's allies, Tywin Lannister pivots south and strikes at River Run, seat of House Tully. With cunning and bribery, he infiltrates the region. Lord Hoster Tully, bedridden, cannot rally a defense. His son Edmure, though brave, is outmatched.
We cannot hold if we are isolated. Father is ill. I must surrender, or they'll slaughter everyone.
Battered from the Golden Fork, Tywin compensates with cunning. Facing the threat of total destruction, River Run's gates open under duress. The red and gold banners fly over the fortress, a humiliating capitulation. When news reaches Robert's camp, fury consumes the king. He dispatches Ned Stark with a strike force to besiege Tywin's newly acquired stronghold. For days, Lannister flags flutter on River Run's battlements. The Northmen encircle the fortress, punishing any attempt by Tywin's men to gather supplies.
River Run was our anchor in these lands. Tywin will pay with blood.
Meanwhile, Jaime Lannister leads a small infiltration behind the siege lines. Renly Baratheon intercepts him in a surprise skirmish. Jaime kills two of Renly's beloved knights before taking a wound. Rather than yield, the Kingslayer flees into the night. His vendetta against Robert and Ned Stark deepens with each step, a tide of blood and betrayal. War devolves into ruthless siege and counter-siege. Robert's coalition tries to starve the Lannisters out of River Run. Lannister outriders harass supply lines, sowing terror across the riverlands. Stannis Baratheon excels in pitched battles, but is ill-suited to forging alliances with hesitant lords. His harsh demeanor provokes uneasy glances. Renly Baratheon uses charm to keep the coalition intact, though Jaime's guerrilla strikes plague his forces. Ned Stark begs Robert for a quick resolution. Too many men perish daily. If lesser Lannister bannermen would surrender, Ned suggests clemency might spare lives. Prince Oberyn Martell seethes at Tywin's stubborn ability to evade open confrontation. He thirsts to meet Gregor Clegane in single combat, but the mountain seems always one step away, leaving slaughtered villages in his wake. In King's Landing, tensions simmer. Spies vanish, gold changes hands. Some suspect Littlefinger or Varys might be hedging bets, fueling subtle chaos. Robert, laser-focused on Tywin, cannot unravel every palace plot. The unexpected ally. Suddenly, ravens bring news. House Tyrell will side with King Robert. Though tardy, Mace Tyrell sends thousands of riders, supply wagons, and coin. Many suspect Olenna Tyrell orchestrates this for the Reach's benefit. The Tyrell army hurries to River Run, bolstering Ned Stark's siege.
Your aid is welcome, though I'd ask where it was weeks ago.
My apologies, Lord Stark. We had to ensure the realm's stability, but we stand ready now for our noble king.
Cynical murmurs aside, the Tyrell influx changes everything. Tywin's foraging parties cannot slip out unopposed. The Old Lion, pinned inside River Run, weighs desperate options. The battle for River Run. At dawn, Robert orders a full assault. Stannis, Ned, and Oberyn lead converging columns. Catapults hammer the walls. Dornish archers unleash deadly volleys. Lannister crossbowmen reply in kind. Gregor Clegane rampages within the fortress, wielding terror among the defenders and attackers alike. In the chaotic Great Hall, Prince Oberyn Martell finally confronts Sir Gregor Clegane. The mountain stands huge, sword dripping with gore. Oberyn's spear flickers like lightning. Blow after blow draws monstrous roars from Gregor, wounding him, but the mountain's final swing crushes Oberyn's torso. Mortally struck, Oberyn uses his last breath to drive his spear through the mountain's visor, a single, devastating thrust. Both men collapse. The Red Viper and the mountain die together in a carnage of vengeance fulfilled.
Gods have mercy, the mountain is gone, but so is Prince Oberyn.
Dornish spearmen, maddened by grief, butcher any Lannister defenders they find. Outside, in the courtyard, Robert Baratheon meets Tywin Lannister face to face. The Old Lion stands battered yet unbroken. For a heartbeat, Robert seems ready to smash Tywin's skull with his hammer. Then Tywin's men throw down arms, preferring to keep their lord alive than die in vain. A hush falls over the fortress. Blood seeps across the stone floors. River Run belongs to the king's forces once more. Edmure Tully, freed from captivity, kneels in gratitude, but the realm has paid a steep price. The dragon in the east. In King's Landing, cheers greet the news. Tywin Lannister captured, River Run recaptured, yet shadows persist. Myrcella and Tommen, though powerless, remain living symbols of incest. Jaime lingers somewhere in the countryside, an open threat. Across the sea, Daenerys Targaryen grows stronger. Tales of her so-called living dragons spread from port to port. Some in the Red Keep scoff, others recall the Targaryens' old might and fear the day Daenerys sets foot on Westerosi shores. From the north, grimmer tidings arrive. Wildlings mass in enormous numbers beyond the wall, fleeing a darker menace. Rangers speak of white walkers, tales of dead men walking, ice blue's eyes. In the swirl of southern conflict, few heed the black-clad watchers' pleas. A strange trial and a sudden queen. Robert drags Tywin back to King's Landing in chains. Thousands line the roads to witness the Old Lion's humiliation. The West is left leaderless, shocked by the downfall of its patriarch. Jaime Lannister remains at large, rumoured to be gathering a ragged band of loyal knights. With Tywin in the dungeon, Jaime might attempt a rescue, or perhaps he'll die trying. In a tense hall, the lords of the realm gather to see Tywin tried for treason against the crown. Ned Stark urges moderation. Execution could trigger eternal feuds with the Westerlands. Others demand Tywin's head for the countless atrocities carried out in his name. The city crackles with anticipation, waiting for Robert's final judgment. But fate intervenes. Jaime Lannister infiltrates the Red Keep at dawn. A desperate, savage rescue attempt unfolds. Jaime kills guards outside Tywin's cell, but before he can flee with his father, Robert intercepts him in a torchlit corridor. Warhammer meets the Kingslayer's sword in a furious crescendo.
You took my sister and my children. You'll pay in blood, Baratheon.
They trade brutal blows. Robert's hammer smashes Jaime's golden sword hand, crushing bone. Jaime collapses in agony, yet the Kingslayer's last counterstroke finds a gap in Robert's armor, biting deep. Robert staggers, mortally wounded. Guards flood in. Jaime is seized, half unconscious, hand destroyed, as King Robert falls to his knees.
Gods have mercy. The mountain is Robert. Gods, no, stay with me.
It's over for me, Ned. Let me see that bastard Lannister. Tried. Oh, gods.
He slumps, the life draining from him. The king dies within moments. The corridor echoes with stunned silence. Tywin is still locked below. Myrcella and Tommen vanished, smuggled out in the chaos. The realm lurches leaderless. 3 brothers, 1 crown, and a child. Robert leaves no true-born heirs. The children with Cersei were false. By law, the throne passes to Stannis Baratheon, stern and unyielding. But Renly Baratheon, beloved by many for his charm, also claims the crown. King's Landing becomes a powder keg.
Will the realm accept a dour, cheerless king who commands no love, only fear? Or shall they follow a king who can unite them in prosperity?
I am older, and by every law known to gods and men the rightful heir. Ours is the fury. Do not think to usurp me.
In the small council, lords bicker, some favouring Renly's popularity, others championing Stannis' rightful claim. Ned Stark stands firm for the law. Stannis is the king, no question. The city threatens to split in half, Dorne eyeing the chaos with dissatisfaction. Lannister lords bristle in the dungeons, anticipating a chance to exploit the cracks. For 2 tense weeks, the Baratheon coalition wavers. Grumblings arise that perhaps the Tyrells will switch sides if they see advantage in Renly. The North might rally to Stannis, but only if Ned pushes them. War could spark anew, brother against brother. The twist of fates, Shireen and Gendry. A new possibility stirs. Shireen Baratheon, Stannis' only living daughter, stands in line after her father. A gentle, shy girl scarred by grayscale, yet undeniably of Baratheon blood. Some propose betrothing her to a powerful house's heir, forging a unity that might stave off further war. Others doubt a child with half a face scarred can truly hold the realm's confidence. Simultaneously, Gendry, Robert's black-haired, newly legitimized bastard, emerges from the Stormlands. Known for his honest nature and formidable strength, he garners quiet support from common folk who see in him the best of Robert's vigor. He professes no desire for the throne, yet more than a few knights whisper that if the realm yearns for a genuine Baratheon male with a moral compass, Gendry could be their champion.
I'm no king. I only want to wield a smith's hammer, not a crown.
But the realm seldom cares for a man's wishes when power vacuums loom. 4 paths form. 1. Stannis, lawful heir, unyielding. 2. Renly, beloved, charismatic contender. 3. Shireen, innocent child, rightful after Stannis. 4. Gendry, bastard with a direct link to Robert's blood and the people's sympathy. While King's Landing churns in debate, grim ravens arrive from the Night's Watch. White Walkers, long considered myth, might stir beyond the wall. Ned Stark tries to warn the capital that a larger menace looms, but the courtiers are consumed with questions of the crown. Martell envoys sharpen their demands. The dungeons hold Tywin and Jaime. Oberyn Martell gave his life for vengeance. Now Dorne wants final justice. Some press for immediate executions, others argue for hostages to ensure peace. Oberyn's daughters, the Sand Snakes, appear in King's Landing, each with her father's cunning and thirst for retribution. In a stormy council session, lords nearly come to blows over who should ascend the throne. Finally, by the letter of law, Stannis is declared king, with Shireen named his heir to soften the realm's anxieties. Renly, placated with promises of a prominent seat on the small council, hides resentment behind a courtly smile. Tension drips like poison in the corridors. The night of Stannis' coronation dawns ominous. Fires blaze in Flea Bottom. Sellswords rampage through the streets, rumored to be hired by ex-Lannister sympathizers or cunningly financed by other factions. Panic spreads among small folk. Some say they see dragons overhead, fear stokes superstition. Others claim the dead walk in the north. The city roils like a cauldron.
We must restore order. I will not have my reign begin in chaos.
He leads men to quell the riots. In the swirling darkness, assassins breach the Red Keep. Ned Stark and a handful of loyal knights fend them off. Swords flash in candlelit corridors. Rumors trickle that Myrcella and Tommen have slipped away in the uproar, possibly spirited off by hidden Lannister allies. If so, they remain living pieces in the realm's lethal chessboard. In a smoky courtyard, Gendry defends a group of frightened small folk from a band of sellswords. He kills 2 men with a blacksmith's hammer. Word spreads that Robert's bastard risked his life for the powerless.
My lord, you've the heart of a true king, not like these others.
Uncertain, Gendry helps the wounded, instincts guided by simple decency. The common folk see a glimmer of Robert's old gallantry in him. Then calamity strikes. King Stannis is ambushed near the great sept of Baelor by a cloaked figure. A dagger finds a chink in his armor. He collapses, bleeding heavily. The assassin vanishes into the shadows. Whispers swirl, Lannister gold, Renly's ambition, some Tyrell scheme, or a cunning ploy by Littlefinger. Stannis teeters on death's edge. Chaos engulfs the Red Keep. The crown might now pass to an unready child, Shireen, unless Renly makes his move. Or Gendry steps forward, or the Tyrells, or some new horror arrives at dawn. Daylight breaks over King's Landing, smoke rising above burned hovels and scattered corpses on cobblestone streets. The empty Iron Throne symbolizes chaos as Stannis lies between life and death, tended by frantic maesters in the Red Keep. Imprisoned Tywin Lannister is rumored to smirk at distant screams, viewing chaos as a ladder. If Myrcella and Tommen survive, a cunning exchange could restore the Lannisters, while Jaime, his sword hand destroyed, languishes delirious in a black cell. A battered messenger from the north warns of endless wildlings and greater threats, though White Walker tales seem hollow amid the city's self-destruction. Ragged watchers on the wall pray for unlikely unity. Gendry kneels by the Red Keep gates, bloodied, as commoners recognize him as Robert's son, sparking newfound respect. Yet, can a power-averse bastard stabilize a realm shattered by betrayal? Renly Baratheon rallies men in a half-burned courtyard, eyeing the throne if Stannis falls, unless lords back Shireen, Gendry, or the North intervenes. Meanwhile, Daenerys Targaryen readies her campaign, dragons growing, while the West falters without Tywin. Dawn seethes over Oberyn's death, and the Riverlands burn from war as Ned Stark warns of the true threat beyond the wall. A hush settles over the capital, all eyes on the vacant Iron Throne. Stannis may never rise, Shireen remains frightened, Renly is poised, Gendry has the people's sympathy, Tywin bides his time, and an exiled queen with dragons looms from the east. Amid ambition and shadowed threats, the Seven Kingdoms teeter on a cataclysm mightier than ever. Winter is coming, and with it, dawn breaks red over a realm that may consume itself before true horrors descend. Valar Morghulis. May the gods watch over the living, for darker nights lie ahead.